I have a friend who was asking about some ideas for improvising over a 3-chord progression. E minor to F sharp minor to B minor. It's in the old Motown song Heat Wave. It follows that exact sequence, plus a few other chords. It's also in the middle section to a 70s hit for a group called Ambrosia back then. That's How Much. And what they did was they did it in a different key. I think it was maybe a whole step higher. But they reversed the order. So if we just conceptualize everything into our key, that Ambrosia tune kind of goes B minor, backwards to F sharp minor, and then back to E minor. So one of the most obvious things you can use, since all three of these chords are from the same major key, the key of D major, you can use a D major scale right here. So I laid it out 3 notes per string. Here we're actually starting on A, and we're following the pattern, and we're ending on the D on the first string, 10th fret. So that's just a D major scale. I'm going to play that in a few minutes for you. First, I just wanted to show you this. Now, if you wanted to go with a more simple sound, or maybe you just are more comfortable in a pentatonic scale, you could also use the D major pentatonic, which is the scale down here. Okay, so it's the same scale. It's just you're leaving out the 7th note, and you're also leaving out the 4th note in the D major scale, which would have been here. Okay, so the basic idea is, this is really geared toward beginners. So if you know all this stuff, you could just move on, maybe watch another video that's a little more advanced. But basically, the major scale follows a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step pattern. Whole step, then a half step, then a whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. Okay, so let's take a look at some other ideas here. I'm just going to turn the page. All right, so if we look at the key of D major and how it's derived, here are our notes. Here's the key signature for the key of D major. All the F's are sharped and all the C's are sharped. So if you're going to read music in this key, you'd have to just remember to sharp all your F's and sharp all your C's. The notes in the key of D major and in the D major scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Now, this is really, again, for a beginner who's not too familiar with harmony, but if you take each space note in that same D major scale and just add 2 more space notes above, line note, add 2 more line notes, space, line, space, etc. We're building triads. The 7 chords we come up with then in the key of D major are D major here, the 1 chord, which consists of the notes D, F sharp, and A. You can see here D, F sharp, and A. The 2 chord is E minor, 3 chord is F sharp minor, the 4 chord is G major, 5 chord is A major, the 6th chord is B minor, the 7th, which we're not going to use too much today, is the C sharp diminished. Okay, so this chord progression that we're just focusing on, for purposes of my friend's song that he's trying to write with these 3 chords, E minor in the context of the D major key is the 2 chord right here. F sharp minor is the 3 chord in D major, and of course the B minor is the 6th chord. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm trying to keep this thing open here. In the old Motown thing, Heat Wave, E minor, F sharp minor, B minor. Okay, and then the other tune where they get to the middle section, it's more, if I keep it in this same key, kind of moving it to our key, it would be something like, that was just reversing it from B minor to F sharp minor to E minor. Okay. So, let's look at a couple of other ideas. So, besides just using a scale, and of course the scale can be used no matter what chord you're on in the progression. Okay, so let me just open this book up. If you use the D major scale, it doesn't matter if you're on the E minor, the F sharp minor, or the B minor. It's going to fit for all those chords. Okay, so I'm just spelling out here an arpeggio for each of the three chords we're working with: E minor, F sharp minor, and B minor. You can just take a look here. I'll just play through them. The E minor, sorry, F sharp minor, and for the B minor we're going to move it down to the 2nd fret. Okay, so this is kind of beginner level arpeggio use where the chord itself is made up of E, G, B in the case of E minor, and the notes that we're playing are E, G, B, E, G, B, E, G, B. Yeah. Likewise with the F sharp minor, we're just duplicating the chords that are being, duplicating the notes that are being sounded in that chord. And of course the B minor, same idea. To make it a little more interesting as you get more used to the arpeggios, something else that we can do is for the E minor chord, instead of focusing the arpeggio on the first note, the E, we're going to focus the arpeggio on the 3rd of that E minor chord, which is G. Okay, and we're going to go to a G major 7 arpeggio, which is right here. See if I can adjust this so you can see that better. Okay. Yeah, so the G major 7 arpeggio is here. We're going to use the same form for the other two chords. Let me just go through the G major 7 arpeggio. So the underlying chord is E minor. For the 2nd chord, the F sharp minor, we're going to use A major 7 arpeggio. And then for the B minor, we're going to use D major 7. Again, each major arpeggio is being built on the 3rd of the corresponding minor chord. So here for the E minor, we're building it on G, G major 7. For the F sharp minor, we're building it on the A. For the A major 7 down here, which is the same form. It's just 2 frets higher. Okay, and then the other one, when we get to the B minor, we're going to just have a D major 7 arpeggio. Same form though, so you really don't even need this. It's just the same form. And the root, of course, on the 1st string and 6th string is going to be the 10th fret D. Okay, so if you have any questions about any of this and you're a beginner, please let me know. Just going to walk through the few things that we did today. Again, a beginner level introduction. All right, so if we think about the E minor chord, we've got a few options. Okay, so E minor, we have well, of course, the first thing we could do would be a D major scale. Okay. The D major pentatonic is another option, even simpler. Sure you know that one very well. First chord E minor, you can do the E minor arpeggio. I'm here at the 7th fret, 5th string. For the F sharp minor, I'm going to move it up 2 frets, same form. 5th string, 9th fret. get to the next chord, which is B minor, we're going to move down to the 2nd fret. So it's going to be right here. 2nd fret is where my index finger is. Okay, so if we think about the D major scale from whence all this stuff came, okay, the D major scale, that's how I wrote it out. I wrote it out 3 notes per string. The nice thing about 3 notes per string is you can, if you wanted to, you could get into the economy picking. So it's like, normally I'm a down-up picker. I'm kind of just learned that way, alternate picking, which would be down, up, 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 all the way through. But if you wanted to play around with economy picking, this is kind of ideal because we have down, up, down, 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 down, up, down. Now on the E minor chord, you also have the option of starting things on an E note. So I'm going to take the same D major scale, etc., but we're going to start on an E 12th fret on the 1st string. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, again, let me know. But yeah, just a little walkthrough ideas for that 3-chord E minor, F sharp minor, B minor progression. All right, stay well, keep practicing, have fun. Talk to you next time.